Hey friends, it's Miss Kirk. I just wanted to reach out to you and give a little follow up from our live stream yesterday and just recap all of our expectations. Virtual learning in AP Language and Composition. Our learning overview for the live stream was that I'm learning about the expectations of virtual learning so that I can master these skills from home. The first goal was that you could explain what was expected during the next few weeks and that you could identify the tools that you were going to use for learning and for to properly learn from afar, which is a Blount County Schools initiative right now. So in that live stream, we went through these kind of expectations. Number one, that you would stay appropriate. Your language, tone, content, it should all be formal and professional. And if you wouldn't say it in class, you shouldn't say it on any of our digital platforms. Next, we want to stay focused. If it's not relevant to the coursework, it probably isn't relevant for our learning platform either. If you want to send me a private message, you're welcome to do so with email or through Google Classroom or even through Remind. And if you want to talk to your peers, you're more than welcome to do that. When we are on a live stream, let's try to be focused on the task at hand, even though I do want it to be a little bit conversational so we can have some interaction with the outside world. Next, let's try to stay accurate. It's going to require a lot more visible learning, self-regulation, and self-assessment than even what we've done in the previous classes that we've had this year. So try to make sure that you're going through our weekly outline, our learning intention, and really evaluating yourself and your progress in that way. And then, of course, stay responsible. Don't give out any personal information on any of our platforms. Nothing like your contact information, your location, your passwords, none of that. Once it's been posted, you can't get it back. When we're doing live streams, those are all recorded and placed on our Google Classroom as well. So learning from afar is something we're all going to get really good at in the coming days and weeks. So in Blount County Schools, all teachers are asked to do three key things. Number one, communicate. Number two, instruct. And number three, assess. So the first step is communication. Our office hours are 8:30 to 11 and 1 to 3:30. If you are wanting to contact me outside of those office hours, you're more than welcome to do so, and I will get back as soon as possible. Just know that if it's not during office hours or at the end of the day's office hours, it might be the next business day before I get back to you. You should expect weekly posts similar to the newsletter, but it will be more about a weekly overview with Google Classroom and Remind. Please pay attention to feedback on all platforms that we have. If we're using Common Lit, Google Classroom, Flipgrid, any feedback that you get, you're going to use that to grow along your way. If you need to communicate with me, you may email during office hours. Again, I will respond during those hours unless I'm doing a live stream for one of my classes or involved in a meeting at the district or the school level. Emails that are not received during office hours will be addressed within 24 business hours. Of course, you can always send a message through Remind, and I'll get back to you ASAP. The next major expectation is instruction. Learning plans will be posted on Monday, and they will cover this week's plan. I'll post videos like this to accompany the learning plan, and all assignments will be due by Friday. We'll do one live stream per week. While those are optional for the most part, I do have one that I'd like to make a requirement, but we'll go over that in a minute. This is going to be a scheduled event, and then you'll receive an email link to the meeting. Parents are welcome to join us on these meetings as well, but the idea here is to make sure that you understand what the learning is and where to go forward with it. All materials that you're going to need for the week will be linked to Google Classroom, and you should expect your feedback by the end of the next week so you can use that to grow forward. Finally, there will still be assessment in this class, so Ms. Kirk will assess. There will be a variety of tools for formative and summative assessment, and you should expect no more than 3 submitted activities per week, all due by the end of the day on Friday. Now again, if you've got 3 activities and they're released on Monday, that gives you 5 days to figure out where you want to do these things. But early submission will allow for feedback and chances to resubmit the assignment. Grades will continue to be updated weekly, so make sure that you're monitoring your individual assignments for feedback early in the week, checking Google Classroom, and then, of course, Power Schools for your grade. If you are locked out of Power Schools, make sure that you're using the form on your Google Classroom page for your grade level and complete that password request system through there. So, the anticipated AP Lang outline is this. First of all, we have a special event, and I am so excited that Jay Heinrichs from Thank You for Arguing has actually offered and reached out to us about talking with us about our book study. So on Thursday, the 2nd of April at 1:45, he's coined a 45-minute time block for us to be able to meet with him. I'll give you more information on that in just a minute. Now, our outline may change after the College Board meeting on April the 3rd. And the reason is because, well, everything has changed. And April the 3rd is when they're going to have a webinar with the AP language teachers and kind of let us know exactly what's happening in the next little bit. So for right now, our plan is going to be to review the units 1 through 7 because AP College Board has said this is what's going to be on the exam. Just these units, none of the rest. So you should expect 1 text and 1 writing per week, not necessarily a full essay. Sometimes I'm just looking at your ability to kind of break it down. Now, once we do know which FRQ you're going to have, obviously we will do full essays there. So there will also be the online stream with a Nearpod once a week. Again, those will be recorded and posted for you if you can't come to the live stream. But we are required to have a minimum of 3 people in that stream in order to make it operational. So if 3 people don't show up within the first 10 minutes of that stream, I will have to shut it down, and that stream for that week will not exist. So class was 70 minutes a day, and that's 350 minutes a week. But right now, there's a lot going on. And we're worried about a lot of things, not just our academics. So although the lessons are going to be planned with recommended time limits, it's not intended to be a full 350-minute week. Now, that said, I understand that when I put something out and I say, hey guys, this should take you about 20 minutes. Sometimes there are some of you who spend 2 minutes on it. Some of you spend 20 minutes on it. And some of you may even spend 2 hours on it. So I will have some recommended time limits for you. Try to stay in alignment with that. Now, of course, if you want to put extra time in it, that's completely okay. And it's entirely up to you. But I don't want this to be something that you spend 5 full days or 350 minutes working on it. All of our classes are going to be doing this quarter 4 project, the Moment in History Scrapbook. We can't do community service right now, but I'm trying to work on a way for us to still get that We Service endorsement given what we've already done. I've reached out to the We Service team, and I will have more information in the coming weeks, probably after that April 3rd meeting would be my guess. But for right now, what we're looking at is 1 entry per week, and it's just designed to be information on what's happening in your life, and it's a way for you to channel your thoughts and your feelings and your questions about it all. And we'll include some Flipgrid video connections there as well. So more about that chat. On Thursday, the 2nd of April, from 1:45 to 2:30, Jay's going to come on and talk to us about rhetoric and argument and anything else you guys want to know. He did ask that we make sure everyone review chapters 1 through 4 and run an agreeable country before we do that chat. Now, I do have a Google form that's going to come up on Google Classroom for you, and that's going to give you the opportunity to submit your questions. So he did ask that I pre-screen the questions and send him the questions. And then what would happen in that chat is you'll open up your screen, you'll say your name, and then you'll ask your question. I really, really want you to be a part of this because I think that it is a great opportunity for you to have a well-respected rhetorician to give you some advice on argument. And he said that you guys could ask questions about anything from how to get your siblings to stay out of your bedroom to how to get Miss Kirk to give you less work. So I don't know about that second question, but he did say you could ask that. So he did say, though, ask your students to focus on asking the question and not reading the question. So we'll see what that looks like. All right. For your week 1 of instruction, you did have a Nearpod going over those expectations. If you joined in the live stream, you're good on the expectations piece. Your learning for this week is I'm learning about the coronavirus so I can practice analyzing the argumentative and rhetorical elements of a text. Because we know that AP College Board really likes to focus on current events, and we know that they are being forced to change everything they're doing on this topic, this does allow us to practice our skills, but it also allows us to bring in the first element of that scrapbook. And again, we're looking at opportunities to create the scrapbook maybe as a We Service project because it would be a primary document. So obviously that first step, I can explain the aspects of a given text. The second step, I can identify specific rhetorical choices and their impact on the meaning of the text overall. And of course, the third piece, I can build my own argument to evaluate the claims and evidence presented in an existing argument. So what does that look like for you exactly? Well, first, If you didn't do it, you want to look at that Nearpod and take notes on the expectations during virtual learning. Your material would be just the slide deck that's there for you or the Nearpod. And there's nothing to submit because it's just knowledge gained. It's just you understanding what I expect of you and what's expected of me as well. The learning would be step 2 for this week. This is a TED Talk about the coronavirus. The link is included on our Google Classroom page, or you can use the PDF transcript of the TED Talk. For a submission, you are just going to complete the analysis guide, which has 4 questions and then written response. Now, I want you to think of that written response as paragraphs. Don't turn in a whole essay. You've got to get really good at very specific claims and evidence to support your claims. So I want you to think about it as a Toolman model. Your first question is a rhetorical précis. Now remember, the rhetorical précis simply analyzes the rhetoric and says this is what's in it. Look back over your notes so that you can identify what goes in a rhetorical précis for that first one, and then look at that Toolman model so you can do a Toolman paragraph for the second one. That third piece is a video journal. Create a 2-minute video addressing where we are and where you thought we would be, how you're doing, what's keeping you entertained, and just in general, what are your thoughts about all of this? That is all that I have for you for this week's instruction. I have really enjoyed the time that we had on our live stream earlier yesterday, and I am looking forward to the next one. I am loving seeing you guys' songs that you've chosen for this week for our community building Flipgrid, and I'm very excited to see what your thoughts are on this current situation. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. You can email me, you can remind, anything at all. Bless you, my children. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you again.